his steely gaze moving deliberately in an effort to pick up even the smallest of details. As his gaze lands on one of the farther walls, it stops there for a moment, before he picks himself up and makes his way over. When he arrives, he begins to slide one hand across the metallic surface, while the other prods and pushes into the wall. He is feeling for any weak points or loose panels he might pry loose, in order to have some kind of weapon to use against the ascensionists. He would prefer if removing a section of the wall would create a way out of this damnable situation, but he wasn't about to get his hopes up. Danko and his cellmates were in a small room with no windows or any cracks of light leaking through from the outside world. The room smelt of putrid organic waste, so much so that one could even taste it in the air. It would seem that the prisoners had been there for quite a while.
What are you doing? I already told you that there's no escape. I've been trying to find a way out for what seems to be an eternity.
I know what you said, but there's gotta be a way out. There always is. We've just gotta find it.
What use is it? Sure, escape this room, but then what? They've got weapons, guns, and vehicles. How far do you think you'll make it?
You seem to know a lot for someone that's been stuck in this room for an eternity. Just wish we had a way to measure time like a window or a clock.
Well,
Go on.
I could hear my surroundings on my way here. They brought me in a warthog. As for weapons, well, you've seen the prison guards armed with assault rifles.
Yeah, perhaps. If we sneak out of here, we can get the warthog and...
Never in a million years. There's probably at least 50 troops stationed here.
So, you'd come to be here. You don't look like standard uniform.
I am a special enforcer officer for Oni. I was stationed in a research facility not too far from here. We are lucky to be here and not with them.
Them? You've seen these corpses?
Corpses? What the hell are you talking about?
Reanimated bodies. 6 foot tall, blades out of their hands. That sort of stuff.
What? No.
Can't be much worse than what I've seen.
These things are parasitic life forms we found under the research facility while under construction. They take your body over, they transform it, then they try to get more bodies.
I think I've seen them.
Then you're lucky. Most of my team weren't.
I saw something else. A huge, pulsating mass with tendrils spread out like a spider web, but with human faces plastered all over the skin of that creature. Some of them I knew not too long ago.
I don't know anything about that. They are called the Flood.
How?
Do I know this? The area we were researching had ancient documents we were able to decipher. They kill, assimilate, over and over again.
What? You were researching them?
Of course. Oni told us to find a way to develop a new super soldier serum. Unfortunately, 200 days into our research, a blackout occurred. The Flood broke free of our holding cells, started killing our scientists and researchers. We tried to put them down, but they were too much for us. Too fast.
Yeah, I know. I've seen them in action.
I managed to escape, only just barely. I locked the door behind me, ran to a lift, and got the hell out of there. Seeing the sunlight after the horrors I saw, it felt like a surreal moment, and not one I'll forget soon. After a few minutes of wandering through the forest, I was cornered by the ascensionist scouts. I thought they were the UNSC, but obviously I was wrong.
It was you. You locked the door.
Danko practically throws himself onto his feet before grabbing the man by the collar of his shirt, lifting him up, and slamming him into the nearest wall. The realization that this man had caused the mutilation and death of the ODST sparked the bonfire of rage within his chest.
We were where you are! We had to pry it open! The ODST with me! And he didn't make it! All because of you!
And what if I did leave it open? I wouldn't be alive or talking to you now, would I? I had no choice.
Fuck you! You son of a...
And what would you have done differently? Well, exactly. You couldn't or wouldn't have done differently. There was no way in hell I will be infected. You got that? Ah!
At least, the ODST gave me a parting gift.
And that would be?
This. You recorded all the events up to that point. That is why I need to get out of here, to show headquarters these new threats.
You have been summoned, Enforcer.
And?
That is all I'm permitted to reveal at this point. Come.
The guard grabs the Enforcer by the arm and forcefully pulls him out of the room. In the brief moment that neither the guard nor the Enforcer are blocking the doorway before it closes once more, the cold and dimly lit corridors of the outpost could be seen. And, almost as soon as the sound of the door's magnetic locks re-engaging resounds throughout the room, Danko begins to pace back and forth in this grotesque, fetid box that had become his new home, pondering of a way out. It was while he was re-examining the entire room that he notices the door is meant to create an airtight seal, and there didn't appear to be a single opening in the ceiling or walls to serve as a means of gas exchange.
So, if no air can get in or out, how am I breathing? There must be some sort of ventilation going on here.
Yeah, there is. It's over here.
Danko walks towards the source of the new voice, finding that it belongs to an older man, looking to be in his 50s, nearing his 60s, with only a little of his brown hair left on his balding, gray-spotted scalp.
And you would be?
Jacobs be my name, sir.
No need for the formalities, hermano. Where is the vent?
I've been covering up with a poster I had on me when they threw me in here.
What's your story then? Why did they lock you up?
My story? They threw me in here after I complained about the food in this dump. Said I was ungrateful for the hardship they went into getting that sublime meat.
That's it?
They called me a heretic for calling out the chef's work.
Heretic? Where have I heard that before? What was wrong with the meat supplies? Doesn't the outpost get weekly visits from the main base in this area? You know, to stock up?
The Almighty Father issued them as heretics. Fools who couldn't see the light, God's grace, or something like that. They got religion, and they got it bad. It's nothing I've ever seen before. The Father cut all ties with the UNSC.
So, there isn't any resources coming in from that main base, then what are they feeding you?
I don't know, but it tasted funny. It's not like anything I've eaten before. And believe me, I do like a good steak every now and again. It had a leathery texture and was chewy, which is shocking when they cooked it well done.
Leathery? How long has this been going on for?
Ever since that blasted fireball rain from the sky, people saying gibberish about seeing things in their dreams, seeing recently deceased loved ones walking the corridors. The Father believes it to be a testament of God and one of his tests.
Suddenly, the door to the makeshift cell slides open. Danko stops examining the covered vent and fixes his eyes on the two guards who had just appeared.
Heretic, it's time.
Jason, is that you, my boy?
Do not speak to me, old man.
Is it finally time for your true betrayal, boy?
The Father has seen light in your heart. If it were my choice, I'd feed you to the...
What did you just say?
Silence, inmate! You aren't permitted to speak to someone of my stature.
Hey, over here, boy. You were saying?
The father has issued an order to bring you to the pits. We'll see if you deserve a place by my side once again.
The father? Damn it, boy, I'm your real and only father!
We'll soon see what you truly are. Father, let's be off.
The guards drag the half-willing old man away and lock the door behind them. As soon as Danko hears the click of the door's locking mechanism, he rushes back to the poster to investigate the new lead, hoping against hope that this would be his salvation. It wasn't too long after the enforcer and the guard left the improvised jail that they arrived at a door with a sign reading the Temple of the Father. The guard inserts his keycard into the locking mechanism, causing the door to slide open, revealing a great hall with crimson drapes lining the walls from floor to ceiling, and bookshelves arranged in neat, even rows, giving off the impression that this used to be a library. The odd group continue walking through the hall until a desk with a black chair facing away from them comes into view. When the guard deems that they had gotten close enough, he grabs the operative by the back of his collar and pulls it down and back, forcing the man into a kneeling position.
Noble father, I have brought the enforcer.
You may leave us.
I will be outside if you have need of me, my lord, O Holy One.
The father turns his chair around to face the man, his speed in doing so communicating neither haste nor placidity, but a cold efficiency of someone who knows they are in control, and simply does not wish to waste their time. His posture mirroring this as well, with his fingers interlocked and him slightly reclined, while his gaze remained firmly affixed to the other man, like a stalking predator.
Well. You have got some explaining to do.
Oh, I don't know what you mean, oh Holy One.
Really? Could you go into further detail into your backstory?
Backstory?
About how you came to be here in our company.
Well, I'm sure the Scout Empire has confirmed that with you.
Oh, they would have. Except they went back to the area where they found you, and they haven't come back for some time. Which is very unlike them.
Well, maybe they gave each other the look.
The look?
Do I really have to explain the birds and the bees to you? Well, it's like this. When someone loves someone very much, they...
Don't you dare spin me your bullshit! Answer my questions, or I will... Forgive me, guys. I seem to have given quite the outburst.
How do
I know your name? I know quite a lot of things. Now, tell me about them.
them?
Do you not think us intelligent enough to monitor you, dear Gaz?
The father points to a radio that looks to have had some modifications added to it. Several cables now extending out of it, like vines, and scaling the walls into the ceiling.
Now I'll say this slowly, so a simpleton, like yourself, can understand. What is the flood?
You know, those scouts, if they didn't come back, then probably for the best.
And that is because?
If they got to them, they ain't yours anymore. They belong to them now.
Stop speaking in damn riddles! You know, we have ways of making you talk.
And that would be?
That's on an experience-to-know basis. And you're pushing your luck. Sweetie, Daddy's talking with his friend. Go back to your room, sweetie. I promise, I'll be along shortly. We were just having a disagreement, honey. Now off you go.
Gaz looks on in horror, his eyes widening and his body leaning instinctively back, away from the father. His every cell crying out that the man before him is raving mad, and a significant threat.
Now where were we? Ah yes, the flood.
The father calmly gets up from his chair and walks casually towards Gaz, making his way behind the kneeling man. He slowly and deliberately places a hand on Gaz's shoulder, the flesh of which sent chills down Gaz's spine. It felt like what he would imagine a drowned, bloated corpse would feel like. It was far too cold. Gaz could feel each and every bone in this hand, as the meat that comprised it moved in an almost viscous manner. As the father bends over to whisper in Gaz's ear, Gaz could swear that the words he was hearing were coming from a mouth filled with too many teeth, all of which were ever so subtly misaligned.
You were going to tell me everything, my good sir. But for now... Gods! Take Mr. Gaz back to his cell so he may reflect on our discussion this day.
Yes, sir.
Oh, and bring me Danko. It's time I got reacquainted with my old commander.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how